Evie Brown. I developed my sense of style basically through the love and obsession of fashion magazines. I just found it so intriguing and amazing, all these sort of beautiful visuals. And my mum used to have Vogue on subscription, so we would get it through the post and whatever, and we used to have a stack of them on our coffee table, and I remember being like 7, 8 years old and reading through them and just being fascinated with the way it was organised and the clothes. I don't think I was quite, I didn't have an understanding of trends yet, but I knew that I loved clothes, and going shopping with my mum was not a normal affair. It wasn't like a kid just picking out a snowman jumper and a woolly hat. I would always refer back to the memories and visuals of the things I would read, and that's kind of where it started. It was Vogue. My style is very much like my music. I love mixing things together. I'm a huge fan of fusion, and I'm a huge fan of parody as well. Like, I like contradictions. Like, my music is very much happy, and then the lyrics are really quite sadistic and sad. So I like the clash of things. So for me, I would call my style vintage, mix-up, geek chic. I think music and fashion go well together in a sense that you need one to have the other. They are married, basically. I believe that when you're an artist or a musician, your music expresses what's going on inside of you, your thoughts, your experiences, your memories. But you can't necessarily see that straight away. You know, if you meet me and you didn't know my music, you can't really see what's going on in my head. But if I dress a certain way, it's kind of like, almost like the front of a house. And you can kind of get a gist of what's going on in my head even before you've heard my music. So it's a very sort of visual and introductory way for somebody to kind of understand you as an artist or a musician or a person. So I think that's important. And then when the dots are clicked together, it just makes the whole form of expression a lot stronger. That's why I think when you see lots of artists that are very strong in their identity and they know who they are as musicians, their fashion style is usually extremely expressive, because they kind of understand the relationship between the two and how important they are and stuff. VV Vintage kind of started for me because people kept coming up to me in the streets and saying, where did you get your ring from, or your dress, or your jacket, your hat? And I was just thinking to myself, you know what? If people keep asking me, I must have a good instinct and eye for fashion. So I just thought, I'm going to do a tiny, tiny boutique online. It's nothing big. It's not ASOS.com. It's just going to be very small and a project of love. And I'm going to sell clothes on the website. And some of the stuff is straight up vintage, but then some of it's customized. Like this was customized. This was a long, sort of very granny-esque jacket that kind of went below the knee, and it was fabulous, but I thought it would look better as a jacket, so I cut it and created this lining here. Got this jacket here. This is actually sold now, so I need to take that off. And so yeah, oh, this is gorgeous as well. The sequence on here is really nice. And I actually, if you look closely, there's like red bits on the jacket. I actually put those red bits on top of the gold, so it kind of created a little bit of almost like a Pollock painting. So yeah, I just thought I'd just do it, and it's starting to pick up now, and you know, a lot of the things are getting sold, and it's not a project of money for me, it's a project of love. And that's myvivivintage.com. There are so many designers I'd love to collaborate with, and it's a real sort of me trying to get my head around whether to choose a designer that I love or a designer that would complement my personality, because from a business point of view it would be great to go with a designer that's very similar to my music and my personality, because that would be a great form of branding sort of thing. But I think if I had to work with anyone, it might be Karl Lagerfeld from Chanel, because it's my dream to one day be the face of Chanel, and I know that's a huge dream, but I don't believe that there's actually been a black female that's actually been the face of Chanel, and I would love to work with him if he would have me. I don't know, it's a dream. I know that my album has so many influences, and one of them is most definitely Nintendo games. And I've often thought, if I was designing clothes, and I was doing a collection, would I have the same inspirations? And I totally think Nintendo games and the things that have inspired my album would seep into my inspirations for if I was creating a collection. But it's difficult to tell because I'm very spontaneous, and I'm very emotional and rational to what I'm feeling in that moment. So I might not be inspired by the same things because it might not be I'm not in that moment that I was in before. But I love video games. I think people take video game music for granted. If it was played by a violin, it would be like the most amazing melody, but because it's really bleepy, it's taken for granted. But who knows? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I think it's what's in the moment that would inspire me. So I am doing a project which I'm absolutely, unbelievably passionate about, like as much as my music, maybe more. It's my comic book, and we've just got the proofs back. Right now it's going in the printers, getting put into, in a proper book style. And I'll show you I won't show you the front cover because that's a secret, but I'll show you some of the images. I started doing some sketches and stuff, and a guy called David Elaine, who's great and he's a genius, and he did some of the animation in my Crime Blood video. He kind of took my sketches to the next level and turned it into real proper cartoon animation designs. And the comic book is manga Marxism, that's why I call it. It's about this girl called Frida who is freeing a city out of suppression. They can't be creative, they don't know what paintbrushes are or anything to do with being a creative person. They have no idea what it is, and it's just a very political story of freedom and creativity and incest and love and hate and confusion and rejection, abandonment. Honestly, it's a really, really exciting project.